Okay, breaking news. You're probably single because dating is trash. Dating is trash. This is Justin, and you're listening to The Weekly Reset, a podcast about how to live a more intentional life. And today we're talking about how to date with intention, practical dating advice for people that are tired of swiping left on love. But before we dive in, how are you? No, really, how are you? I am good. I feel like the month of December, I'm just in total hibernation mode. Fully, all I want to do is eat and sleep and watch TV and chill out. Like, that is it. I have no desire to do anything else. But while I was home, I had this really awesome opportunity to watch this very cheesy Christmas movie with my mom. And your boy loves a cheesy Christmas movie. I can't help myself. So my best friend Brandon was in this movie on BET Her. It's called The Christmas Clapback. And it's a traditional holiday comedy. It has a little bit of drama. They have some inclusivity. They've got one of the people in the movie is a lesbian, which I was like, okay, come on, BET. Stepping up to the times and showing that we are a very diverse Black community. But the premise essentially is that three sisters battle each other for a chance to win this Christmas cook-off competition. And hilarity ensues when a social media influencer enters the competition because she actually has some cooking skills. And so you're trying to see which sisters are going to win, how are they going to work together, and specifically it's about them grieving the loss of their mom right before this holiday season. So it was like super easy to watch, very cheesy. But I actually enjoyed it. It was like one of those movies where you can just put it on, you can fully fall asleep for an hour, and then you wake up at the end and you're like, oh, that was cute. This made me feel good. It was really cute. I want to dive into the content for today, how to date with intention. I've been thinking a lot about this because I took a very intense dating sabbatical when I moved to Austin. I was like, yo, I'm not trying to be out here in these streets. I just moved to a new city. I don't know anybody. And specifically, I was trying to just realign my expectations around dating. I feel like I had dated a lot, but after getting out of a long-term relationship, I needed some time to reset and figure out how to realign my expectations around what dating could be. And specifically, it was like, what do I want out of a relationship? I didn't fully know yet. I also needed the chance to do some thoughtful research on how to just date again, because dating is weird. It feels, especially recently, we've moved into this era of Netflix and chill where you can like fully find yourself in a random situationship. Have you heard this term, situationship? Essentially where you are with somebody, y'all hang out pretty frequently, but you're not actually together. Like, you don't put a label on it because one of the people is afraid to commit. And to be honest, I was that person. I said it. I think that's one of the beautiful things about doing this podcast, because I feel like I post all this content that's positive and inspirational on the internet, and that is a huge part of me, but I'm a human being, right? Like, I'm a normal person that like just exists in the world. And so I have no intention of being anybody's guru. I'm your best friend working through things just like you in real life, in real time. With so many apps, it felt like dating became more about collecting matches and actually focusing on getting to know someone better. And so I wanted to like take a step back, take a break, and just figure out, how can I be a better person in relationships? And how can I attract the type of people that are a better fit for me? And so I put together a little list. We're going to talk about it. And I'm interested to know about your dating journey as well. So definitely feel free to hit your boy up on Instagram at Justin Made That with your reply to what you think of this very impromptu, somewhat awkward podcast episode. Number one, in order to date with intention, you have to be willing to put yourself out there. And I know in an ideal world, We would all have a meet cute, like a rom-com from the 90s. You'd be browsing for books at a local bookshop, and as you looked up from the novel you were perusing, you'd lock eyes with the person of your dreams, and it'd be real cute. Like, they'd come over and start a conversation, inviting you out on a perfect date that eventually led to a fulfilling romantic relationships. And of course, it's a rom-com, so hijinks would have to ensue. There would be like some little cute misunderstandings, and y'all might even fully break up. But after a makeover montage, because you know you have to have a makeover montage, you and that person would literally live happily ever after. I get it. I want that too. I'm not even gonna lie. It'd be cute. Meeting people in person, especially today, can be pretty challenging. If you want to increase your chances of actually finding your person, you're probably going to have to be open to downloading a dating app and getting a swiping just like everybody else. And it sucks because I really have to download an app to meet a person in this economy. It's like, Earth is ghetto, dating is ghetto, like why? But the reality is that's just how people meet. Like, you gotta get Bumble and try it. And I found like some of my friends have really said some good things about Hinge as like the dating app of choice. I'm a gay man, so like I've used some of the gay dating apps as well. And I know like people are always like, all people want from these dating apps is sex. And if that's how you choose to use it, sure, that could be the case. But there are people looking for everything. And if you are very clear, you can find what you're looking for on these apps. And so you're gonna get all dressed up, take some cute photos with some cute lighting. You're gonna write your engaging bio. My bio on Tinder says, I'm a Kyle Barker looking for an Overton Jones. You get it, right? Kyle Barker looking for Overton Jones from Living Single. Have you watched Living Single? Living Single is just like one of those shows that sits with me for my entire life. I watched it growing up, and like obviously on the show Kyle ends up with Maxine, but like I have this secret theory that like both Kyle and Maxine represent queer identity. And so growing up I was like, ooh, I'm gonna be Kyle Barker, I'm gonna be getting all the ladies. And it's like I grew up and I feel like I literally am Kyle Barker. I'm absolutely not getting any of the ladies, but that's a total aside. So yeah, you just have to be willing to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to meet up with people in real life and go on dates. You have to be willing to put yourself on an app and swipe. And unfortunately, that's the way it works these days. You just gotta try. Number 2, you gotta state your intentions. If you're looking to build a relationship, it's actually okay to clearly say that on your profile. And I think that's a misnomer. People are like, I want to attract the most number of people possible. And in reality, no, it's okay to try to actively weed out the wrong type of person. There are some people, as I mentioned, on these dating apps that are literally, they just looking for a little Netflix and chill. A little, I don't even know what's another, a little HBO Max and hang. A little YouTube and you and me. And that's cool. If you're looking for a casual fling, it's also totally okay to be upfront and add that to your profile. Like sometimes in order to widen your net for potential matches, people are afraid to be totally honest and say what they're looking for, but I will argue it's a good idea to be specific. Weed out the wrong people. Weed out the people that are not for you. And this is the big one about intentions. I feel like you have to like genuinely listen to people. When you're having those initial conversations on a dating app and you're getting to know somebody, sometimes they'll tell you what they're looking for, and we have the tendency to go, oh, they're just saying that once they meet the right person, I could change them, blah, blah, blah. No, you can't change nobody. That's literally not your job to change anybody. Your job is to find a person that you are compatible with right now. It's highly unlikely that over the course of dating that they will change their mind. Yes, it is possible, but you'll save yourself a lot of headaches by Believe in people when they say they're not ready for a relationship, even if sometimes their actions say otherwise. Yes, that super nice guy that told you he's emotionally unavailable, he is probably a fuckboy and he's telling you the truth. So just go ahead and believe him, and make sure that you are also being honest with yourself and reflecting who you are and who you want to be by stating your intentions clearly. Number 3, you got to be open to dating outside of your type. I feel like one of the tragic flaws of engaging with people as pictures instead of in real life on apps is that you miss out on those tiny little idiosyncrasies that make them who they are. So you don't get to see how they eat. You don't know if they slurp their soup or not. You can't smell their cologne. I feel like the senses are so meaningful in the dating experience. And I'm one of those people, if you don't smell right, we not doing nothing. Like, there's no need for you to even say hello, because I need a soft, clean smell. I can't have that overpowering cologne. You know what I'm saying? That's no bueno. Overton Jones wouldn't wear no strong cologne. Overton Jones smell like a hard day's work. And some Dove soap. You don't know how they walk. You don't know how they sound when they laugh. And when you're swiping on these apps and like figuring out who you want to go out with, I encourage you to follow this 60% rule. And essentially, it's like, of course, we're gonna swipe on the people that we think are attractive, but I actually encourage you to really read the bios of the people you're swiping on so you can learn more about them. And give some wiggle room, right? There's some pretty awesome people in the world that have not learned their angles. They might not be ready or able to take very flattering photos. And so long as your goal is not to be an Instagram couple, it actually is fine to like swipe on somebody that maybe you don't find like super duper attractive, but they got a little potential. Give them a chance. Like 60% of what I'm looking for visually. Let's see what you look like in real life. You might be a vibe. You know what I'm saying? The other thing that pops up, especially in this like kind of swiping app culture, is that there are some people that aren't the best at typed communication. They fully feel like I am a person that like, if you don't know how to type grammatically correct, we might not be a match. We might not be a match. If you don't know the difference between your and your, we might not be a match if you can't do there, and there. But the thing is, not everybody is good at type communication. Some people might be short, some people might be long-winded, and in real life, you're probably not going to be texting somebody all day. So I'm always one of those people that's going to be like, let's push to talking on the phone, especially doing a video chat as soon as possible, because I want to get to know you. I want to see your mannerisms. I want to understand your communication style. I want to see if like we can vibe in real life. And the value of doing this quick 5-minute video chat is that you can clearly decide, hey, I think I could imagine going to get drinks with you, or we are not a vibe, we are not a fit, we are not it. And then you just move on. Number 4, be yourself, but also keep it light. As mentioned, I'm always going to advocate for setting up the date as quickly as possible. I'm not trying to fall in love with nobody over no typed chat message. Like, why? I don't need the mystery. I want to date a real human being, especially if you live in the same city as me. We're going to meet up for dinner as soon as possible, or at least a little drink, because I don't want to spend weeks and weeks writing love letters to each other. It is not Pride and Prejudice times. What's the guy's name in Pride and Prejudice? Oh my gosh. Now I have to Google this. Wait, hold on. I am not Mr. Darcy. You are not Elizabeth. I'm trying to build a meaningful relationship in person. And honestly, in Pride and Prejudice, they did build a meaningful relationship in person. Also, behind some cute love notes. I have not read that book. I have watched the movie, and right now I'm listening to a podcast that details the book chapter by chapter. It's good, but I'm not going to read that book. That's not for me. So you don't want to be this like overly watered down version of yourself, But in the beginning of the relationship, you got to keep it real within reason. Like, you don't have to dump all of your baggage on somebody the first time you meet. You can actually just meet and see if you vibe, and then go on a few dates, have some good conversation, be the most confident, fun version of yourself on those first few dates. And then it's okay, over the course of getting to know them, you can drop a little bit more information. You know what I'm saying? You can be like, oh, okay, like, here's something that I'm looking for long term. Is that something that you are interested in? If they're not, okay, maybe this isn't going to go into my potential partner category, and instead, maybe they're going to be a friend. Maybe they're going to be an F buddy. You know what I'm saying? And that's also okay. Like, you have to be open to the possibility that you could literally fall in love with somebody, or that you could just become friends with them. And I think having that openness and that willingness to explore, to enjoy the process of dating by keeping it light, is actually liberating, right? It's like, I'm not chasing after the end goal, and instead I'm allowing myself to explore the experience, to do the thing, to give myself room to be a real human being that's just enjoying hanging out with another real human being. Number 5, there is power in courtship. I feel like dating is rough, and the reason dating is rough is when you meet someone that you're vibing with, it can be tempting to jump all the way into a relationship, sometimes a little too fast. And I get it. Like, you know, we all want to kind of skip the part of getting to know somebody and jump right into, we are in a solid monogamous relationship. But I think there's power in slowing down and allowing the relationship to naturally progress. This is the power of courtship. And so, like, I think it really is an opportunity to establish a connection where you actually are communicating, where you're learning about them, where you're giving yourself experiences that can add up to something bigger. So that's talking on the phone. That's like going out on real dates. Let's get a dinner. Let's go to a movie. Let's have a fun experience. Let's go to the comedy show. You know what I'm saying? Let's go on a cute little walk, a little hike. I live in Austin, and everybody trying to go on a cute little hike. Let's grab some drinks. Let's see if we can watch Netflix without chilling. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if there's an emotional spark, that can grow into something that's deeper, something more meaningful than just a physical relationship. And by taking things slow, it gives you the opportunity to truly see if this person could be a meaningful addition to your life and not just a time filler. Whew. I'm gonna say that again. It allows you to see if this person is a meaningful addition to your life and not just a time filler. I'd say there are probably 2 types of daters. There are probably way more than this, but I think for the purposes of this discussion, there are 2 types of daters. People that love dating multiple people as a way to stop themselves from committing, and people that only date one person at a time but can have trouble finding the right person. So I've got different advice for each of y'all related to the power of courtship. So if you are like me and you're a serial dater, one of those people that is always like dating multiple people because you're like trying to explore, learn, see, whatever. If you're a serial dater, the second you find somebody that actually piques your interest, that you are genuinely feeling like you're vibing with and connecting with, I recommend giving them an honest shot and taking time away from the dating pool to give this one person your full attention. Give them the opportunity to get to know you fully. Allow this the opportunity to grow into something more and just see, right, if it could work, instead of wasting the other 6 people's time that you're dating that you're not even really interested in. Now that's the advice for the serial dater. Now the other type of dater, I would say the monogamous dater. I just made that up, monogamous dater. If you're a monogamous dater and you tend to get enamored with one person super quickly, I recommend dating 2 people at the same time. Here's why. It allows you to get to know somebody without making them the most important part of your life too quickly. And it gives you the capacity to do a comparative analysis on who could be the best fit long term. Because if you're a monogamous dater, like you're one of those people that's, oh my God, I see the world through rose tinted glasses. This is the one. I am the most lucky person that has ever existed in the world. I found my person. They found me. This is going to work. And the thing is, sometimes you need to like pump the brakes just a little bit, give somebody else a chance and see. You know what I'm saying? You just got to see. Maybe when you compare them to guy number 2, you realize, ooh, they're short with me when they talk. Or I don't like the way they are when they don't like somebody. You can actually see them for who they are. Okay, wait. Now you have to tell me, are you a serial dater or are you a monoga dater? You can message me on Instagram at Justin Made That. Number 6, it's okay to have non-negotiables. If you are a chronic people pleaser, like your boy, it's hard to communicate your needs, right? We have to work extra hard to clearly establish boundaries and share who we are with people over time. And I feel like after you've gone on about 3 or 4 dates with somebody, let's say before you get to date 6, you should have had the opportunity to dive deep with them, right? This is when you start to chat through those bigger deal things that matter the most to you. Some people are like, yo, my partner has to have a professional career. That's deal or no deal. That's a no deal for me. Some people are like, yo, I can't deal with somebody that chews with their mouth open. And this is the thing, like, you have permission to establish your standards and stick to them. That is the gift of being a fully realized person. And so, like, talk about kids, talk about dating history, talk about finances, any other hot button issues that matter to you. This is the time to, like, get it out of the way. And by this point, you'll have built enough rapport to actually get real answers versus the fluff, you know, that some people will say on the first few days. Because a lot of times, especially when you're first getting to know somebody, they're showing you the best, most brightest, most awesome version of themselves, but they might be giving fluffy answers because they want you to like them. And by the time you're date 4, 5, or 6, it's okay, we're ready to have those important discussions and be real with each other. I think the important part here is to listen to the words that they're saying, but also to pick up on those nonverbal clues that they're giving you, as well as pairing their actions with the answers that they're giving. Because people will say one thing and do another. That's human nature. Unfortunately, all of us have been subject to that. Not all of us have done the deep self-reflection necessary to deeply understand why we do the things we do. And so we'll say one thing and do another. Your job as an intentional dater is to genuinely listen. Because sometimes there's a disconnect between the words someone says and what they actually are willing to show the world. And it's like, we've gotten to this point where we're getting to know each other. I really feel like this could grow into something. And so you've got to have those discussions to see if it could work. And if through these conversations you learn that there's an area where you don't quite see eye to eye, it's okay to call it quits. There are plenty of fish in the sea. And I remember after getting out of a long-term relationship, I felt like I would never find anybody, and everybody was like, oh, you're a good looking guy, like things are gonna work out, there are plenty of fish in the sea. I would get so mad at that phrase because all of the dates that I was going on were poo trash, and I was like, there are no fish in the sea. The sea is I think people say that catfish are bottom feeders. And I felt the sea was just catfish, the worst of the worst, the lowest of the low. And I think now that I'm approaching dating from a different angle, that's just not the case. There are good people there. You just have to put out into the universe the type of energy that you want to attract. You have to affirm yourself first and believe that it is possible that you can meet somebody good. And then you're more likely to meet somebody that's good. And the really dope thing is when you believe that you can meet someone good, you can cut it off with those maybes, right? I'm always preaching about, talking about, speaking about the fact that I don't want to do maybes anymore. I'm not doing maybes. I'm not doing any maybes maybes in 2022. I'm not doing any maybes in 2023. For me, like, either it is a hell yes or a no. I'm not doing maybes. And I recommend maybe you shouldn't do maybes either. And this is the thing. You can't change somebody's mind. It's not your job to change them. And you don't want to enter a relationship hoping that someone will slowly transition into someone else. You actually have to be okay with the person that you have met exactly as they are right now and feel like they're a good fit for you where you are today. That's a word right there. You got to let go of the potential and allow yourself to see the real them that they're showing. My final piece of advice here is it's just dating. Number 7, you can take it easy. There's no time limit on finding the right person. If you're feeling any external or internal pressure about finding a partner, you got to spend some time learning how to be happy alone. And I feel really strongly about this. Being in a committed monogamous relationship is so beautiful. It is like one of those earth-shattering, meaningful experiences. It's so wonderful that they literally make Christmas holiday movies about it that we eat up. We love this. We love these movies. We love these rom-coms, right? But the perfect partner is not going to complete you. They will be an addition to an already fully complete person, right? And so that means you actually have to love yourself wholeheartedly, right? You have to believe that you are a bomb person with a good heart. You have to have things that you enjoy doing. You have to have meaningful relationships. Like the people in your life, your family, your friends, you actually need to have those things established and working for you. And then when you attract a person, it's, oh my gosh, that's lanyard. That's a little bit of extra icing on the cake. But I think the media and our biological clocks, they put this focus on us that like, oh my gosh, I've got to get married by the time I'm 30 so I can have kids by the time I'm 33, because then I will be a fully realized human being. And it's no, what if you just enjoyed life, gave yourself permission to enjoy dating, and allowed the right person to come into your life? What if you allowed the connections to grow as they were meant to grow? What if you just gave yourself time and space to be in love with yourself? I feel like maintaining a positive attitude and removing the desire for a specific end result is the best way to not feel overwhelmed by the daunting practice of finding love. Finding love is hard. You got to let go a little bit. Give yourself some slack. Give yourself some room to be open. So, in conclusion, finding a partner is hard, but learning how to date with intention is a life-changing process that could set you up for a more successful romantic experience. Here's hoping you never have to send the group chat, dating is trash. And instead that you can say, y'all, I just deleted all the dating apps because I found the one. Thanks for listening. I'm interested in learning more about you and your dating experiences. And if you reach the end of the episode, could you do me a favor and follow and subscribe? And specifically, I would love to hear, what is your absolute worst breakup story? You can send it to me on Instagram at Justin Made That. Bye, y'all.